Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Rifqi Irvansyah. I'm your host for this episode. And I've been looking forward to this episode for a while now. We often talk about research and data and also some local perspective and youth experience so far in this broadcast. But today we get to dive into the story that's a bit different. A story of adventure, culture, and a whole lot of learning. We've got a fantastic guest today, a new friend of ours, Alessandro Lindstedt from Lund University. He's an international student who has literally traveled across the globe from Europe to join us right here at TDMRC, our research center in Banda, Aceh. Think about that for a second. He's coming from Sweden and he's now experiencing life in Aceh, a place with a culture, a history, and a natural environment that's completely unique. His perspective is truly one of a kind, and we are so excited to hear his thoughts. We're going to get his take on what it was like to land here for the first time, and what surprised him about our culture, and most importantly, what he has learned about our community's resilience in disaster-prone area. So let's not wait any longer. Finn, thank you so much for being here, and welcome, and how are you doing?
Terima kasih. Thank you for the amazing introduction. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm doing good.
Yeah, thank you. Finn, let's just get into it. Can you tell us about a bit your background and what made you choose TDMRC for your internship program?
Okay, yeah, sure. My background, my academic background started in Rome, or now with my bachelor, and different from a lot of my colleagues here at the TDMRC that are engineer. I graduated in global governance, so more like multidisciplinary social science approach. Also, if I specialized and I did a major in science and technology. After that, I worked a bit in sustainability, and then I took a master in the Netherlands. In Rotterdam at the Institute of Housing and Urban Development Studies, where I studied urban management and development, and then specialized in urban environment, sustainability, and climate change. And now I'm taking my second master, and I'm finishing my second master in disaster risk management and climate change adaptation at the engineering faculty at the Lund University in Sweden. So my background is very diverse, I would say, very multidisciplinary. I don't have a clear specification, of course, sustainability in general, but I'm very passionate about disaster preparedness, risk reduction, and especially community resilience and the power of community in shaping resilience in today's world. And yeah, I chose the Tsunami Disaster and Mitigation Research Center of Banda Aceh because, first of all, it's an internationally recognized institution, and it's famous not just for its research, but for the expertise that they have on disaster reduction and resilience building. Plus, I wanted to experience the unique, I think, experience that Aceh and Achenese people had after the tsunami in 2004, and I wanted to see firsthand how that shaped today's life in this province.
So that's a great story. So you've landed in Banda Aceh, and this is your very first time here. What was your first impression when you got here? Were you nervous or worried about anything at all?
I was not worried. Of course, the usual thing, like I don't speak Bahasa Indonesia, so like the main thing was like language barrier, like how would we communicate, and cultural adaptation. Like I did not know what to expect exactly, and also like I feel like from a Western perspective, if you try and do some research on Aceh, there is not a lot on the internet. It's mostly about the tsunami, not about a lot about the community and how people live. So I was not worried. I was very curious, and when I arrived, I mean, the first thing I noticed was the beautiful tropical climate, and that it's very different from the cold and dark winters of Sweden. So I'm trying to enjoy as much as possible while I'm here. But yeah, all my doubts, like not doubts, all my concerns just immediately went away as soon as I met the people here. Their huge welcoming, warm welcoming, and hospitality just made me feel in the right place at every time and wherever I was. So like that just changed everything immediately. And I was sure I chose the right place to be. And another thing I noticed, not maybe as soon as I landed, but like already in the first few days, it's like already, when you speak with people, when you see like also the structure of the city, everything, the tsunami legacy is everywhere in the in Aceh, in Banda Aceh. I really feel there is like a clear cut when I speak with people with a pre and post 2004 tsunami, and I feel like that's what I wanted to learn. So I think that's also a reason why I'm in a good place at the moment.
Yeah, it sounds like a quite nice first impression. So you have been here for a little while now, so you have had time to see around and to see a lot of things. What is the most impressive thing you have seen or experienced in Aceh so far, and why does it stand out to you? What the most impressive thing, and why is it?
Okay, I think the most impressive thing and also beautiful thing is like the community I found here. Not for me, but how community works here. It's a very strong community-based society, I feel like. Community strong everywhere, and also between people that don't know each other. And how, just go and get a coffee can solve every problem in Aceh. And I love that, and I feel like that also ripples down, that sense of community ripples down also like at the Tsunami Disaster Mitigation Research Center. Like here I found a very, I think, healthy research environment where like you can feel, me as an outsider at least, I feel really like there is respect and a community bond inside the office. And that respect and community goes both ways, both from top down and in exchange from bottom up. So I feel like the whole environment of the TDMRC, it's constructive and does not leave nobody behind. And I think what I saw, that was the power of it, and that was really impressive. Because like in Europe, we would like to think that that's what we aim for, but maybe in reality, it's not always like that. And then another thing that I found that surprised me, not surprised, but like I was happy to see, was the cultural richness of Aceh. That it's very different from Indonesian in general. Like I know I already been to Indonesia, been to Java before, but Aceh, I feel like also the way, not just the people, but like traditions, culture have a bit difference. Also with the food at least a bit. I love it. I'm gaining so many kilos while I'm here, but that's fine. That's a problem I'll find for later. I feel like, I mean, the first week I was invited, also again, going back to hospitality and welcomeness, the first week I was invited for a wedding and got to a traditional Chinese wedding, and it was just beautiful also to see that, and so different. It was like, I'm loving also just exploring the culture and the local tradition of this place.
So fascinating. I'm a bit impressed with your story. Now let's talk about something that's really important to us here. Aceh is well known with its disaster-prone area. Based on your perspective, how do you find the evacuation signboards or any other disaster information in public space here, especially in Banda Aceh? You can be honest, actually. Your feedback is very valuable for us.
First of all, I think it's important to state that I don't speak Bahasa Indonesia, so maybe a lot of things that are meant to increase disaster education on that point of view, I don't understand, unfortunately. So what I see, it's kind of biased. I mean, now that I say it, that maybe can be like a first improvement thing, for also trying to have some translation next to it just to be sure. But overall, I feel like there are, when you walk around, you see signs of evacuation routes, and it's clear where you should go. I think maybe, I saw some, just this is again, it's a very good basis, but I seen maybe some signs that were not as clear where you should go, because it changed during time. It was not facing the road, it was parallel to the road. So this minor thing that I feel like it shows how there is a good basis, but constant management and improvement and updating of the facility and the infrastructure, it's fundamental, especially as the city expands and develops further. And that's also show how resilience is not a one-moment choice. You need to build resilience every day, and it's not one measure that was done at some point in time cannot ensure resilience forever.
Yeah. So that's a really helpful feedback from you. So we got learn a lot of things from you, especially about how the signboard of the tsunami evacuation, something that's very important for us in the future. So let's moving on to another topic. How do you find our culture here? Did anything about it shock or surprise you so far?
No, not shock me. I mean, again, I was very impressed of the level of deep community, because like when you read about Aceh, like especially like as an urban planner, I see the numbers, and then you see, okay, it's a very big city, 260,000 people, and like the first thing I would say is like I would imagine the European city at 260,000 people would not have that level of community. It's almost like a village community, but extrapolated to the whole city. And that I think is beautiful because it shows it can be done. So like I think that's the main thing that really impressed me. And again, I need to say again hospitality, because like I really felt welcome any moment, wherever I was, whatever I was doing, I always felt welcome. So like hospitality needs to be there. And then maybe something that, I mean, I don't mind. It's like I feel fascinating how the time here, like the pace of life is very different from Europe. Not just in the way of doing things, but how like also like the prayers like shape and structure the whole day. And we don't have that in Europe. So like here also seeing maybe like, yeah, it's just that how the prayers time structure the time and the pace of life here, and how everything follows that. It's like, it's beautiful, and it shows like, again, it's like a common goal that keeps going.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. Now let's talk about the future for a moment. In the context of disaster education, like we talked earlier, for the younger generation especially, what message would you like to share with them?
Yeah, okay, this is a very important question. I feel like the first thing is that, as I said before, resilience is not something you build in one day. They are the future, so they need to realize that they are the key to build a long-lasting resilience. And the future generation will always be the one responsible to keep building and make sure that we keep being resilient to new risk and new hazards. So that's mostly, it's important that they are aware of it, and that they have that responsibility. Secondly, on a more like practical basis, of course, they like the importance of drills, exercising, knowing what to do in case of disaster. But mostly, I would say, be curious in general. Ask questions, open discussion, try to understand as much as possible why things happen, how you should do it. Try to use that knowledge to expand, use that curiosity to expand your knowledge, and then try and share that curiosity and knowledge with your peers, with your family. Try to talk about these things in the house or like in front of a coffee, because that's much more effective than just going to a classroom and trying to learn it. So it's like literally everyday life's everyday conversation of every day, basically everyday life's conversation that create an impact and really stays in our mind for a longer time. And then also for the work I'm doing here, I need to say, like, embrace how traditional knowledge can also be super effective in building resilience and in disaster education especially, and how you should combine and create a hybrid between traditional knowledge and modern science, of course, because modern science is also fundamental for any kind of scientifically researched truth. By combining these two, I think you can find a real solution to low cost but extremely effective disaster education and risk education.
That's a powerful message. I feel. So to wrap things up, when you return to Sweden, what are the key lessons that you will take with you and you can share with others back home? Maybe like your experience here or what?
Firstly, like the first thing I really realize is like resilience is a lived experience. Is not just an abstract concept that we study. You need to feel it, you need to live it every day to really enhance it and give it the structure it needs. Secondly, like the community focus, and again, it seems like I'm saying always the same thing, but like I really felt the importance of community and how also just listening to people, like I really felt not just in the risk preparedness and the disaster preparedness, but also in the response and the rebuilding phase after the 2004 tsunami, how it like how the community helped each other and how it can be much easier to rebuild and to cope with such a trauma that you can find help inside your community. Thirdly, I think it's very important, and maybe also one of the reasons why I chose to come to Indonesia. In this sector, especially in Europe, there is a lot of speaking about developing countries without a lot of people actually being there and seeing it. And I feel like as much as books are fundamental, I want to stress this as much as possible, as much books are necessaries, and like you need to study, you need to know the theories, you need to know how things work. It's like, it's the basis of everything. You need to do research also on a theoretical level. There are some things, some shades that books cannot give you, especially with the context of people. And that you can just learn by being there in the context, talking with people, and try to be human with them and understand the shades of their culture and their expertise and knowledge. And I feel like, that's the most important thing I will bring with me. And also, as much as we think that also books sometimes just we like to group things together with like these two case studies have more or less the same context, but it's important for me to make sure that people understand that as much as context can be similar, they're never the same. Each context is very specific, and very like the people that live in a different context have some different shades of how they perceive reality and how they live reality. And if you want to have an impact also with measures that sometimes are written so far away, you need to know those shades. Otherwise, your measure will not enter into the local population, and then as soon as you leave, you would not have make any change. So like you really need to understand the context. I want to stress this because I think that's the most important thing I will bring with me. Then, of course, like on personal level, like, I mean, a lot of beautiful memories, a lot of food. I need to try and do a lot of food because like I really fell in love with Chinese food. And then, of course, like adaptability for myself on a cultural context and also on a professional context, because again, I'm not an engineer and I'm surrounded by super smart engineers here. But again, thank for their hospitality and like support. I never felt like something I was less. But I think that's how science should work. The power of different disciplines where each one brings the best they can offer to bring humanity forward. I think that's the main thing of everything we're doing here. Otherwise, So I think that's my final take on what I'll bring back.
Finn, thank you so much for today. I really cannot thank you enough for your sharing sharing your story with us. And this conversation, I think, has been truly incredibly insightful for us, especially. So we have got to hear your very honest and first impression and your thoughts about on our culture and your valuable perspective and how we can communicate about disaster preparedness. So it's a great reminder that when we open up and share our experiences, we can learn so much from each other. Your time here at TDMRC has been so valuable. So we're going to miss having you around here, especially.
Me too.
Chit chat with you every day, and we truly wish you all the best for the rest of your internship and for your safe return home. And to everyone listening, I hope Finn's story has given you a fresh appreciation for the people and the resilience of Banda Aceh communities. It's a powerful lesson in a global connection and learning. If you enjoyed this conversation, please hit the subscribe button and leave us a review and share this episode with your friends. We'll be back soon with amazing another guest. Until then, take care. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.